All right, I should be live. Oh, hello. Definitely live. Going live now. Is this the correct link? Let me double check, just in case. Yep. Look at that totally not branded sexy t-shirt. Yeah, let's go, let's go, let's go. How is everybody doing? Maybe I should mute myself, that would be interesting. Okay, just an ad, yep, for sure. There have been a few follows. Yes, thanks everybody. From people follow when you are not live streaming, that's pretty interesting, but thanks anyway. So yeah, hello Enstranged HD, hello Sigmofo, how are you all doing? Let's do a quick stream today. I see. Yep. Is everything readable? I think it's readable. Hello Freg. How are you doing? I waited to stream just because I was watching the Laravel meetup. So I want to go live just after that, and that's why I'm live right now. Looks good to me. All right, let's go. Maybe, yeah. So here is where I did a little bit of work while not streaming, but I did a few small things. So in case you are new here, we are building a little invoice system where we have some data at the top. Hope we can do some in-person ones. Yeah, for sure. Next year maybe. Hopefully pretty soon, but let's hope. So, ooh, a lot of people from Belgium apparently. Let's see, what are you up to? Yeah, I'm building like this invoice system, and there is an interesting problem that came up. So one thing that you will notice is that we have a pretty big header up top. We have some information with the invoice number, some issue dates, client information, then the items, and then a very big footer. And I believe some of it is cut off because of my webcam, but I think that's all right. Hello JSS, hello Martin, hello Sleepy, hello Michael, hello Vleesbrood. So one of the issues is that this content is limited. There's limited room for it. And when we have a lot of items, we basically want to split up and create new pages. That's why I also talked about content-aware pagination on Twitter and in my title. And I think it's a pretty interesting problem. Just because I don't want to hard code the height, because I want to be able to change design without having to worry about the available space. So one thing I did in, I'm using Next.js, and in Next.js you can have server-side props. So what I did is basically, this is the invoice where we generate a random invoice number, my information, the client's information, the issue date, and here I basically fill up the invoice items. So these are the line items, and currently I have 3 of them. So there are also there are a few things that are pretty cool. So when we have, let's say, 8 items, then you will notice that everything is sort of broken. And so one thing I was doing as in the previous stream is basically just chunk the items in several groups. Hello, Trash. So let's group them in like three groups, so that we create 3 up here, 3 in the next page, and 3 on the last page. So what is something else you have to notice is once we have multiple pages, the big footer at the top goes away, and we introduce a very small. In how much days can we subscribe to this channel? I guess this is my last day, and I think the next stream will be possible to subscribe, but I'm not sure yet. So once we have multiple pages, then the big footer goes away. We introduce a pretty small footer, just to showcase how many pages there are. On the second page, we have a very small header instead of a big header at the top. And on the very last page, we have a big footer again with all the VAT stuff. Thanks for the follow, Steve. We have all the information, including like VAT, totals, subtotals. Also on each, every page that is not the last page, I have a subtotal on this page. I don't know if this is really interesting, but I think it's nice to have it there. We can always remove it. So yeah, obviously now we only have 8 items, but we waste all of this white space up here, down here, and on the last page it's sort of okay. So one thing that I wanted to experiment with is basically how can we make this paging smarter. So instead of having like a default, a normal pagination system is basically how are you doing the pages? I'm doing the pages, it's just a hard-coded height and width based on an A4 size paper. And let me show you this. So basically what we have is we have a page. We loop over all the pages because now they are chunked. So let me log them. Hello, Ziggy. Let's log the pages and let me try and make sure that this is readable. No, I disabled to drop. I think this is in. Thanks for the follow, Victory. I think this should be visible. Is my webcam in the way? I think it's just fine, but let me move it over here. So basically what we have is we split our items into multiple sections or chunks where we have like 3 pages of 3 items each. What are you listening to? I have no idea. I am listening to a very long title. Best of Tokyo Pro's Artist Liquid Drum and Bass Mix number 7. Something like that. Let me try and copy. Can I share it? Give me a link. Yes, please. This is the link, I think. Okay. So trash for the paging, basically we split our items and then we loop through them. And what we do up here is basically we say, are we the first page? If that's the case, then we have a big heading. If that's not the case, then we have a small heading. Then we have a box. Yeah, I'm just splicing the array, and then we are generating basically the items. The items itself are for this little table, and then if it's not, if it's the last page, then we want the big one. So the big one is subtotal, all the VAT stuff in the total. If it's not the last page, then we basically have the small subtotal, this one. And then if it's the very last page again, maybe can merge this together with the previous one, but then we have the footer, the big footer, this one, and otherwise we just have the small one with the page number. Using this as a way to procrastinate from doing biology revision, so this stream better be good. It's gonna be good. I promise you, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. So obviously we have more room on the first page because the big footer is gone. So basically we can solve this by moving the paginate. So currently we are paginating per 3 items, but we could paginate for the first page 10 items, for the second page 15 items, and for the last page 5 items. So it's content aware. Why create an invoice system yourself? There are so many. Or will you create a mini styles based on it? Because learning is fun. Everything exists already, so. No, I'm not lying. It's gonna be interesting. So one thing that we can do is, where should we start? Basically, I want to know how much room there is left. So I think one way we can do it is by introducing a little component. And I think I already created this component. Where is it? UI, debug? Yeah. I have a simple component that's basically a debug component. And the debug component is just some red box. So let me just show you. Where shall I put it? Debug. And then let's import it. Calculate the max amount of items. Yeah, that's basically what we are going to do. So now we have this beautiful red box and we know how much room there is available. I'm also using flex 1. And with flex 1, you basically push everything down here. This is already up here. And then the leftover space will be the flex 1 box. Using some CSS framework in your project, or have you defined your own? I'm using Tailwind CSS. So we have this red box, and that's going to be interesting because I want to basically introduce a component, something like fit content, just to know the size of what is available. And let's do it until here. Yep, and now this obviously doesn't exist yet. What if items are multi-line? You need to calculate height. No, we will take care of that. We will take care of that. So we don't have a fit content yet. So basically, I want to return our debug component for now. So it will make it like a red box. And let me go back to where we do the chunking. And let's cheat a little bit by just saying we have a single page, and a single page contains all the items. So items, invoice.items. No links to the actual Tailwind CSS site. Yeah, that's true. Maybe I should update it. So now what we know is that, and before people will complain about types not being correct, let's add some types. Let me make this a bit bigger, or move it around. That's a better way to describe it. Children, what it's gonna be, React Node. Thanks for the follow, RMZ Novali, or something like that. Let's import React Node. Okay, fit content. So basically now we know that all the content inside this box should fit, but we are not rendering it, and therefore we know that this box is what's available. What's the shortcut to move the content so the cursor is at the top? I'm using ZT for that. Thanks for the follow, AK Akvashi. These names, I'm sorry for butchering it. using Vim and the linting is still so fast. Yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, so what the content will do, here is what I'm thinking of doing. Basically, I want to render a div and I want to give it a ref. And if you don't know about it, in React you can pass through like a ref object, which is just a mutable object with a current property on it, but you can also pass through a function and then you basically get your element. So let's see what the element is. And there's a lot of students making noise outside, which is always interesting. Welcome to Ghent. So now we have our little div. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, it's visible. We have our little div. Thanks. Oh, whoa, that's pretty neat. What is neat? CT? Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So here is what I want to do. I want to basically calculate the size. So let's say size set or available height. Set available height. And we will use state for this. And we are going to default this to null. And I will tell you why in a second. Well, now you know. So number or null, and I think I have to import use state. Yep. Okay. So what I want to do is basically, if our available height is null, then it means that we didn't measure the available space yet. And if we do have a height, then we can return, let's return our children for now. Children. Okay, so now we have this set. One thing that I want to showcase you is because one reason I'm rendering an additional div. So let me do this debug stuff again. One thing why I'm doing this is if there is no content at all, because of the flex 1, we already have a box with a correct height, basically. But if we, so let me move this for a second. If we do this, then you will know that, or you will notice that it's now overflowing. I don't know if you can see the weird little line here. I can also showcase this with the debug component again. So what you will notice now is that there's like an overflow going on, and we can use that information to know if there's like enough space or not. But let's remove this again. Okay, so now we have a div, and what we want to do is basically measure or set the available height based on the elements dot this will be like an HTML div element, which is nice. Put a scroll on it and call it a day. Yeah, but the annoying part is that you can't scroll while you print it on paper. So I do want to make actual pages of it. Okay, so elements. And what are we going to use? I think we can use something like client height. And let's see what this gives us. Available height. Null is not an object. Okay. Oh, there is this one thing. If you are unmounting, it could be that your ref is set to null. So if we don't have an element, just ignore, just don't care about everything. Element.scroll height. We will get there. We will get there. So it's now 0, and that's sort of expected because the div we render is basically, it doesn't have a height. So I don't want to put like height full on here. So what I want to do instead is say element.parent element, And now when I do this, we get a height of 442. For your information, printer possible won't print the blue background up to the edges. It will do it. If you are, well, yeah, I'm mostly generating PDFs. And since we live in a cool world where we don't need printers all the time, I can generate it. But yeah, we can make it better so that's better for print. But I mainly care about creating actual PDFs. So yeah, we can improve it, but it doesn't matter for now. Okay, so now we set the available height to 442. And one thing we can do for this is basically render our debug component again, and it takes children. So we can sort of cheat by saying style is gonna be this height, and we will say with full BG green 500. And with this, oh, height is not gonna be, it's not defined, of course. It's gonna be available height. Yep, indeed, available height. So now this means that we confirmed that we can actually measure the size that is available. Do you use some React library for rendering the PDF in the browser? No, this is just normal React. And what I did is I created a very simple page component that hard codes the width and height in millimeters. I'm mostly amazed by how little you Google or Stack Overflow. Thanks, I guess. What was the purpose of using ref attributes on fit content elements? Sorry, missed that one. Okay, so the ref in here is, we have a div with a ref, and the main reason for this is so that we can find, based on the actual DOM node, what the available height is. I could like pull in some library or a hook that solves this, but I don't really have the need for it. Will you also have to generate and send a PDF from server? If yes, how would you do it? I already have another project from before I started this one. Thanks for the follow, Muchi, and thanks for the follow, Trick Tree Blinded, and thanks for the follow, Luffy D199. So I use Puppeteer currently for generating the PDF. Probably way better than using a package. They always make the build package size pretty large. Do you use the parent element height instead of the element height to get the height of without overflow? So basically what happens is we have this available space, which is a div with a flex 1. Thanks for the follow, Sympathy, and thanks for the follow, Yurdux. So this green one has already a flex 1 on it. And I basically render a div in it without content. So that means that the div will move up to here, which essentially means no height. So I believe I could use my own height if and only if I also do something like hfull. And I think this will sort of have the same effect. Yeah, if I don't have this hfull, then it's not there, then there is no height. But I just want to look based on the parent element. Okay, so now we have this thing. And we have our green box again, so we know how much room there is. All right. So the next thing I want to do is basically when this happens, so now we have our height, we can render a div again with all our children in it. And let's do a ref again. All these refs. It's an element. If you don't have an element, we don't care. But here is going to be the cool part. So, or a cool part, let's say. I want to get my height again, which is going to be element.parent element. But this time, I basically want the scroll height, because now when we are rendering, let me showcase this again. And let me do this for a second. I want the scroll height. Am I being stupid? Okay, here we go. So you notice that the red stuff has the height on it, which is correct, but the rest is overflowing. So therefore I want the parent element's scroll height. And basically what we want to do, why is children not in debug element? Oh, it doesn't matter. It's a sibling now, but the debug element, how it's implemented, it has some BG stripes on it to create that little see-through thing. And then we also use like absolute. So since I think my flex diff with flex 1, yeah, it has a relative on here. So it will just do stuff. Debug is probably absolute. Yeah, it's absolute positioned. Yep, exactly. All right, so let me do this again. So we have our height, scroll height. Let's log whatever we have here. Available height and normal height, I think. Yes. Moment of truth. Okay, so what do we notice? We have an available height of 442, but the new scroll height is 672, which is higher. So that means there is not enough enough room. Hello, Nutru. It's a good looking PDF. Thank you. So this means if our height is greater than the available height, then not enough room. Please resize. Let me get rid of debug in here. Okay, so what will we see? I'll refresh and you can see if it's readable. Is it readable? It's a little bit tiny, so let me do this. I think this might be better actually. So not enough room, please resize. Okay, fair enough. What if we only have, instead of 8 items, 2 items? Then when I refresh, we don't see anything. So this basically means that we have enough room. So that's good to know. All right, so what is the next step we should take here? Oh, hi Brandonovich, hi Recep, hi Foreplay, ooh, hi, I think I've seen anyone now. Hi George. Any specific reason why you are using let instead of const, presuming you don't plan on reassigning? Okay, I don't really care about const being, first of all, let is shorter. That's one thing. And the most important feature for me is the block scoping instead of function scoping feature from let and const. And I also don't really care about the reassignment of const. I should create a let for this indeed, because I had to explain this every time. Yeah. Okay, so not enough room left. That's good to know. Before we continue with the fit content one, because this now already knows if there is enough content or not. One cool thing that we can explore though is if we go back to our I2, let's make it 8 again. So let's imagine, okay, so now there is not enough room, obviously, but let's imagine we didn't have that footer. Let's just drop it. Let's drop the footer. When I refresh, there is enough room. So notice that we don't have to care about our design, but the content will just know. Yeah, Trash, you can make a command for it if you want to. Make a command. I'm wrong. I'm never wrong. Hi kid. Okay, so this is nice because now we do have enough room and our fit content component doesn't care about the actual content, it just cares about the fact that we have enough room. You could use quote system. I have no idea what you mean by that. All right, so what is the next thing? The next issue is gonna be our pages. Add command, let it is less characters. Oh yeah, hello everybody. Hello everybody. I think it's just exclamation mark command space add space exclamation let or something. Yeah, something like that. Robin, add something here. Okay, I will fix it after the stream. Oh, by the way, important. I open source my dot files. Very important. Side note. Okay. So how can we make this pagination better? I'm thinking that maybe we could do something like pages is gonna be, or let's say per page. I didn't want to do that. It's gonna be 332, and basically what I'm doing, I think this is a good structure, is each item in the array represents a page, and each number in that array represents the amount of items. Good dot on the job files. Okay, thanks. Okay, so one thing we can do with this is thanks for the follow, Hermit Code, is let's create like a little structure for this. So I probably want to I want to probably update it later. So do per page, set per page, and use state. Shall I use it? This is gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. 332. Maybe do something crazy like 132. And then what I want to do is our pages. We basically have to slice based on the amount of numbers or items in the page. You mean you have to switch? Hey Melky, how you doing? How you doing? So what we will do is basically we will map this thing, and we will get the amount, and the index is gonna be important, and then we will have to do something like, let's see. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. Let me treasure some mod here. What in the nanny? Nanny? Okay, thanks. Okay, so this is gonna be interesting because we will probably want to create this where our first page is gonna be item 1. Our second page is gonna be item 2 and item 3. And our third page is gonna be item 4. Oh, and item 4 here. This is gonna be item 5 and item 6. So to get to this number for item 2, we also have to know all the previous pages. So what we can do is something like create an offset where we say per page is gonna be slice of 0 to I. This is gonna give us like, for the first page this one, for the second page 1 and 3, and for the third page 1, 3 and 2. And then what we want to do is we basically want to sum it all, and let's use our good friend reduce for this. So we have like, I don't know, total, let's use amount again, and then something like total plus amount, and we start here. Okay, and now that we know the total, what we want to do is basically slice our actual items, I think. Does that make sense? Yeah, I think so. So invoice items, we have 69 viewers. Nice. I'm absorbing all of Robin's tips and tricks. Okay, cool. So we want to slice again, and basically we want to do offset. So for the first one, no offset, 0. For this one, we will have, for the second page, we'll have an offset of 1. For the third page, we will have an offset of 1 plus these 3, which is going to be 4. So, okay, so this offset plus the offset plus the amount. But we want to skip the first page for page 2. We want to skip the page 1 and 2 for page 3. So I think this should be something like this. I guess. My brain is dead already. So let's see. What do we have? What did we create? Okay, this is interesting. Let's see. So now we have a list of pages, and if you look up here, we have 1, 3, and 2. So we have 1 item, we have 3 items, and we have 2 items. That makes sense. I think that's correct. And now let's verify. So the ID 1, so the offsets are correct. Yeah, that looks good to me. That looks good to me. Thanks for the follow, Zodiac. So this now means we have 1 item for page 1, 3 items for page 2, and 2 items for the last page. Okay, so now we have our pagination working. Thanks for the follow, Big Mark. So now we basically have the pagination working. All right, that's good. That's nice. So basically we can play with this by doing 3, 2, 1. Is this for Tailwind UI or something you're making for? I'm making this for myself. 3, 2, 1. Okay, this is good. This is good. And now we will combine this functionality with the fit content component. Thanks for the follow, Stevie P. Ooh, 78 viewers. Hello, everybody. How are you all doing? That looks really clean. Thank you. Thank you, Kalama? Kalama? I'm sorry for butchering your name. Okay. Okay, so what we can do is basically, instead of hard coding these page numbers, we can start by the amount of items we have. And now you will notice that we didn't paginate at all, but you will notice that we don't have enough room. That's, thanks for the follow, Sir Demir. Okay, not enough room. So now I basically want to mutate this per page thing. So what should we call this? On resize? On resize, is that a good name? Okay. This problem was like very hard when I was thinking about it, and then I was walking during my daily walk, and I was thinking, I could solve this in a way. Thanks for the follow, Jarmolenko. The last time I explored CSS for printing, I realized there is still some ways to go. There are some CSS specs by W3C for printing. Print media that the browser vendor just ignores. Yeah, I'm basically doing all normal CSS, and the only special thing I do for printing is, let's see, styles. When we have this media page, I basically make sure that the size is A4, and I also force with importance. I can clean this up by doing M0, B0, important. Important is important because browsers are annoying. I think I can clean this up as well. Important, and then I can drop these. But basically, yeah, and then I have a component of a fixed size. How come you look anywhere from 23 to 35 years old? That's because I am in that range of age. Yep, something like that. So I don't have a lot of stuff going on for printing, but I basically use, or what did I do here? CSS apply is not supported within nested address. Oh, that's correct. That's correct. This is like a limitation of the current apply system in Tailwind. So we basically, when you are applying, we apply everything to the parent selector. In this case, it's going to be HTML, body, but in this case, it's going to be add page. And we just, we don't do that currently because it sort of looks like a media query, and then you have like nesting going on. So I think that might have been the reason why I had margin 0 of importance. And this is going to be padding. Yeah, that's good. Robin is today years old. I am today years old. What is going on? Robin, are you older than me? I am older than you, Melky. I am 25. Sorry, Page.js. What is Page.js? If Robin is younger than me, then I'm gonna lose it. Robin is like 17. What is going on? Only 1 year older. I will turn 26 this year, so I'm from 1995. All right, where was I? Oh, on resize. On resize is gonna be, I don't know, function. One thing I want to do is, does it matter? It doesn't really matter. Okay, when we want to resize, I call the function. Good. Do you love this tree more than trash these 7 Jordis? What is going on? I have no idea. On resize is not a function. That makes sense because we... I can get rid of these now for now. We forgot to pass them through. So this is gonna be on resize. This is gonna get... Let's do our login here again. Not enough room. Please make room. Thank you very much. And refresh. What did I do? Oh, I didn't save. It could help if you actually save your file. Not enough room. Okay, so now the nice part is that we have the callback in our actual components where we use the fit content. So this is gonna be the fun part. So what we want to do is basically, we have 8 items up here. And if we want to resize, we know that there is not enough room. So what we can basically do is move the last item to the next page. And then we create our structure again, like 7.1, like this. And then we can basically, it will re-render, and then it will do the reffing again. And once the reffing stuff happens, it will call this function again and again until there is a new room that can fit all the contents. 25 and in one of the top open source teams in the world. Let's go. Really hope I'm not the oldest in this chat. Seems slow. It might seem slow, but the nice part is that this is like very static. It's not live content. It's just something I want to generate once. There are probably ways in how I can improve this, but let's see in how I can. So set per page. Let's use a callback function in here, and we have our per page. So what should be the algorithm? I want to make a clone because this is going to be an array, and I don't want to mutate it directly. So let's see what the clone looks like. Undefined is not an object. You are not an object. Set per page, set per page. Oh, the reason this is erroring is because it's re-rendered and I didn't return anything. So it basically resets the array to undefined. And it's also complaining about it here, if I believe so. So type per page number void is not assignable to type ref state number. Yeah, so I returned undefined and it expects a list of numbers. Good, so let's return our clone for now. Let's return our per page, otherwise it's gonna be re-rendering forever and we don't want that. You have the current page index, so you should subtract 1 from the current index and add 1 to the index 1. Exactly. So now our clone looks like clone 8 because we have 8 items. Fair enough. So what we want to do is basically clone for our page index. We already know this exists, so we can subtract 1. Then we want to add it to our next page. So we add 1. Let me move this up a little bit. We add 1, but this will probably fail. And the reason why... Oh, let me also make sure to log our per page. Oh, I have to return our clone, of course. So yeah, this is basically going insane. It's going to be not a number, and the reason for that is this next page may or may not exist yet. So what we can do is something stupid like page index plus 1 is gonna be this or 0. This is syntax you can use in modern browsers and stuff, but I noticed that Next doesn't support this quite well, maybe in newer versions. So basically what I want to do is let's use this page if it exists. If it doesn't exist, then this page value will be 0. And let's see what this gives us. It will basically break. Okay, fine. Why is that? Let me... If Next is using Bello preset env, then maybe it should have that support. Yeah, maybe it should. Maybe not. What is going on? Let's 4, let's 8. Maybe some 10 in here. Is that gonna make a difference? No. So let's keep it at 8 for now. Thanks for the follow, Arno. What is our log saying here? Per page 10, per page 9.1, that makes sense. Per page 8.2, that also makes sense. Per page 7.3, yes, sure. 6.4, 5.5, 4.6, 3.7, 2.8. It's first grade here. So 0.91. This is already pretty strange because I'm pretty sure our pages could fit while doing this. So let's see what we have to fix here. Where are we? Fit content. Page index plus 1, page index plus 1 is gonna be 0 or whatever we have, and then plus 1, and then return our clone, and then we're gonna say set per page again, and this is going to re-render. Let's see what our pages generated. So these are all of them, all of the items. It's always going to resize on every set per page, right? It shouldn't, I think, because at one moment there will be enough content and then it shouldn't on resize again. Let's think. We are, oh, it's gonna be on resize. It's gonna call on resize every time because I think we never reset the available height. Let me get rid of this thing. Okay, so we never reset the available height. That's not good. So let's reset the available height. Something like this, set available height null. We see something. Thanks for the follow, Dubsware. We see something. So let's get rid of our console log. And then, where did we do our pages again? Thanks for the follow, Xisternix. Okay, so what you will notice currently is that it's sort of working. Thanks for the follow, Kurchik. It's sort of working, but it looks like there is like a lot of empty space. However, if we put this last line down here, then it means that this block and this block should also be on that page. So we sort of lose a bit of, we have some white space. Maybe we can somehow fill it in a better way. It's getting the height with the big footer in the first resize. Yeah, that's true. Let me showcase you something, because I'm fairly sure if I use something like, I don't know, 20. Yeah, so now we have 10 items here, not 19, but 19 minus 11 items here, and then 1 item in here. So I think if I log my per page again, and this is sort of mind-bending-ish. Console log per page. Okay, so what will happen? So we have 20 items on the first page. That can't work. I think this is the preferred solution. I think so as well. So then we have 19, 1, because no room, 18, 2, no room, 17, 3, no room, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 12, 8, 11, 9. But then you will notice that we go to 11, 8, 1, and 11, 8, 1. So let's just hard code them for now. So then we can actually see what's happening here, because we will jump back, which is pretty cool. So we have 11, 8, 1. We have 10, 9, 1, and we have 11, 9. Oh, it does work, but the first page still has too many items, so it will move its own, the last item of the first page to the next page, so it becomes 9 again. But yeah, let's see how this affects our stuff. So one thing that I can do is in here, this block, yeah, let's ignore this block and let's add 11.9 in here. 11.9. Maximum update depth exceeded. Why? Oh, This is because we are fitting our content. So let's just ignore that for now, because it's going to set available height in a loop, basically. But I just want to explore the pagination. Hey Robin, is invoice.space it is a side project. So what you will notice here is it looks fine, but there's actually not enough room. I don't know if you can see it, but this, let me get the DevTools in here. DevTools. Is it, can you see it that it's, this is not the correct one. This is the correct one. What is this one? Oh, that's the one on top. Okay. So we have a table and this thing. I don't know if you can see it. It's very, very subtle, but the orange bar from this div is just overflowing to the border of the bottom one. So visually there is like enough space, but since it's like very, very close, actually just a pixel or something, it will split it up. So this is what happens when we do 11.9, I think it was. And in here it looks fine-ish as well. So let's see what happens with the other numbers. What was it again? 11.8.1. So now the funny part is that we will, so we have currently 2 pages. If we have this one, we have a lot of stuff in here. Did I not save it? We have items in here. And now we have a lot of room here. And 1 item in here. So since this is not good according to our math, we move 1 down here, and here is a lot of room left because we removed the footer. So if I go to, let's say, invoice.items.length, and I go to this one and I take, I don't know, 30 items, what you will notice is that everything is broken because I didn't comment this out, and I have to drop this thing so that we can calculate everything again. All right, so now we have 10 items in here. We have a lot of room on page 2. So this will basically fill the whole page, which is pretty nice. And then the last page has the rest of the items. And can you hear those sounds? It's pretty loud. Anyway, so I think this is like a cool solution. And one thing that I drunk students, yep. No, it's just students. I live in Ghent, and there is a lot of students in here. And even though there is like this thing called a pandemic going on, they don't care. So anyway, so one thing that is cool about this solution actually is that we don't care about the actual design. And I think that's something really interesting, just because now I'm basically free to change things around. So maybe we can play with that a little bit. So we have our 10 items on the first page. So what if I find my solutions? Yeah, so this piece of code in here is basically that footer where we say Manifest solutions, page 1 of 3. Let's just say that this is basically a height of 36. Is this too big? Yeah. So notice it's overflowing. I just have to refresh. and it should, yeah, so now it's moved one item because it couldn't fit to the next page. Now there's just not enough room for another one. So let me double check that if that's actually correct. So when we go in here, whoa, this is really, really big. This is really big. Okay, so T-body, TR. It would have been easier if I did this, right? Okay, so let me edit HTML, copy the whole thing, paste the whole thing. Did I paste it? I think I did. See, now you can clearly see that it doesn't fit. Because it also takes the padding and stuff into account. So we have now page 1, which is nice, page 2, which looks nice, page 3, which just fits. I wonder what happens if you like add one other item. Will it create like another page? I have actually no idea. Let's see. Or will things break? Refresh. 9 items. 22, 30, and 1 new page. Let's go. I think I like this. I think I like this system. There is one very interesting bug. Technically, try 32. Okay, I will try 32 for you. Just because it's you. Because of you. I should not sing. I should not sing. So 22, 31. 32. So because there is still enough room, it puts the one up here, right? So 31 is in here and 32 is in here because this subtotal stuff would not fit. I'm not gonna sing. Last page should still have one item then. Yeah, so if I now add like another one, then we should have the same story again, where we now have 32 up here. The total stuff doesn't fit, and now there's still one page left. I think this is pretty cool. So here's another thing we can try. Let's imagine that we drop this block, or let's drop the subtotal on this page kind of stuff. I think it's just this one. This one. Oh, that's not how you comment. Let's just drop it. The benefit, in my opinion, is now you can rework the subtotal and footer so it always looks good. Yeah. Do you 3-seater highlight in your... I use 3-seater, yes. So now we drop the total one, and now we have like... I believe this said 9 before. And this said something else. And then there's only 3 pages, which is cool. So if I reset this, it says 9 again. Okay, cool. And now what if I drop the whole, where is it? I think it's this one. Yep, let's drop this thing. And now this technically, yeah, this now just fits. It didn't create another page because it already could fit it. So that's pretty dope. Have you noticed in latest version delay when opening TSX files for the first time? I haven't noticed something slow-ish yet, or laggy, or... Yeah. So where did I put my 36? So yeah, what do you think about this solution? Just check if we can fit it and then basically paginate based on not a fixed number like 50 items per page, but especially just per page. I think this is pretty cool. There is one thing that's gonna be annoying, and it's sort of a problem and not a problem. Let me showcase it to you. So when I generate like 400 items and refresh, is it working or is it broken? I have no idea. Okay, so this happens. It's technically not an infinite loop. But React, I'm calculating the available height, then re-rendering, then setting the state back to null so that we can measure the next time. So basically what I'm doing is going one by one, removing them from one page and moving them to the other. So React also has this safeguard where it only allows you to re-render 50 times or something. So it's a problem because if you have like a very, 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 very big invoice, then it will fail. But I think if you have like an invoice that is this big already, then you have other issues, I think. Why is the pagination dynamic? If you export it, it won't always have same amount of elements. It's dynamic because on the first page, if you only have like one page, then we have like a big footer down here, basically this footer, and also this subtotal. But if it doesn't fit, then you can't print it. Been awesome watching you work, Tink. Good night. See you later, Alex. So yeah, it's dynamic just because we change the designs based on which page it is. Shouldn't say page 3 of 3 somewhere. It could, but I could put it on the last page actually, but I don't really want to. I think another cool thing is that we can try is basically generate random multi-line contents for the descriptions and see if it still works. I think that's gonna be fun to explore. One thing that is very important, and that's one reason why I moved to get server-side props, is I basically want a random invoice, but I want this exact same data for each render. Because if I'm actually going to generate random invoice items for each render, then that's not a good idea. So you can think of it like this data is actually coming from the server. So let's see what happens if we generate some multi-line descriptions. So we start by line 1, we join it by a new line, and then how are we going to do that? We want 0 or 2 lines, I think. Yeah, that's good, that's good. So what we can do basically is say something like, I think I have a range function that goes from random. This already takes a number, that's interesting. So let's take random int 0, 3, and then we get an array out. So what we can do is basically map this to how far ahead is Next.js compared to Nuxt.js? I never really used Nuxt.js, so I have no idea. So this is gonna be I, and what I want to do is return maybe a tab subline item I plus 1, and then we need like this $sign up here, and I also believe this is gonna return an array, so we do have to do something like this. Will this break? Why will this, why? Oh, let me go back to like a smaller number just to see if that's the issue or not. Okay, so it's already rendered it. This is like almost perfect, I think, because we have variable line items with different line heights, and it just renders it. Let's generate a new one with new data. Yeah, I like it. I like it. it's working as I would expect it to. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this solution. Maybe I want to look into how to get past that looping mechanism, because the annoying part is I could basically somehow calculate each height of this thing, but then again we have an issue that if we have multiple pages, then we introduce this smaller footer or like the big footer, so it's gonna be interesting. But I think I'm going to keep this for now. Thanks for the follow. Oh, I missed a few. Thanks for the follow, DBNDev. Thanks for the follow, Vedey Hassan, and thanks for the follow, Lead Rose. I think I'm going to publish this. Let me quickly commit this. Would use memo be a way out? I don't think so, because we are constantly moving things around. Maybe one thing that we can do is basically delay this set available height, but I don't know if it's a good. I don't think it would work, because then we would re-render already. Okay, so showcase multi or implement dynamic pagination plus multi-line line items. Seems like you can do the math to figure out how much space you have before rendering. Maybe it sort of depends on the design though, so it's a lazy way out, I guess. Let's push this thing and it will deploy. Maybe use ref for available height. Yes, but then we also have to, that's something we can try. That's something we can try actually, yeah. So we still have to re-render because we have to know the correct height. The height's always going to be the same, but the scroll height is going to be different. So I think we can, okay, let's see. I think what we also can do, what if we drop this all together? Let's say something like, let's available height is gonna be element dot parent dot client height, and then scroll height, and then if the scroll height is above the available height, then we resize. Make it in Flash. I will make it in Flash. I will make it in Remotion. Okay, so this still works. Did I create any errors? I don't trust myself. Yeah, this is fine. Is my server still running? No errors there. Good. So, shall we go back to 50? It's still there because of the pagination, or is it? Oof. Nice. That's an improvement. That's an improvement. So now we have everything that fits nicely. Let's go. 1 hour and 18 minutes. Is there something you want to see that I do to improve this, or because maybe next time I want to look into generating PDFs with Puppeteer? That could be a fun one. 200 would break it, right? Maybe. Yep, it breaks it. Or does it? It does. It does break it, yeah. So it's an improvement, but it's still not there. But again, it's like one of these problems. I'm currently being selfish and making this for myself, and I know I only have like a handful of items. But yeah, even with 50, it renders 7 pages. I think that's good. Another thing we can do, but it's a little bit annoying. Let's think. Fit content. Let's commit this first before I lose this. I'm losing it. Yeah. Git add everything. Improve, no, reduce multiple re-renders by being smart and having Michael in chat to help. I think this is one thing. Okay, so here's the next thing that we could do to improve it. We are basically setting the per page 1 by 1. Did I say Michael? I did mean Michael. Oh, you want me to yeah, I'm sorry. Wait, how does one type this thing? That's just right? Yeah, it's right, okay. What backend are you going to use for the event sourcing Next.js? How do you know I'm going to use event sourcing? Did I say event sourcing last time or this stream? I'm probably, oh, I'm sorry about that, Michael. I fixed it. I'm probably going to use the built-in API routes of Next.js. And I also have my own event sourcing package, but I might make it from scratch because it's not that complicated or anything, at least not the basics. But yeah, one thing that I wanted to look at real quick, and I don't know if it's a good idea to actually do now, but now we are going 1 by 1, and instead of doing this, we could basically reduce the problem by doing multiple re-renders and using like a binary search. So instead of moving 1 over to the next page, we could move over half of it. And then we basically create 2 pages with the same size. But then the complex part is going to be that we could move items back because we could have moved too many items. Or we can say something like move half of it over and check if we have like a lot of room left, but then we have to get into measuring more. So I think I'm going to leave it at this currently. And maybe I'm going to stop streaming for now and do another stream maybe later this week or next weekend or something. So yeah, you have a university degree. I have a university college degree from Gent, from the University of College Ghent. It's a very strange name, but it's technically, depending on where you are, it's college. Twitch. It's not Twitch. It's Twitch. Oh, Jordan is streaming. Shall we raid Jordan? Who shall we raid? Who shall we raid? Shall we raid Jordan? I think we can raid Jordan. All right. Hope you enjoyed, everybody. I'll see you in the next one. Don't you do it. I will do it, Rash. I will do it. I'll make sure to notify everybody. Make sure to join Discord. I think I fixed the link so that you can join it. Make sure to follow me on Twitter. Very important. This repo is public. It's not public currently. It's not public currently. Oh, hi Mew. I'm going to drop everybody off at your great Twitter content. Yes, for sure. Follow me there for updates. Follow me. Join me on Discord. Do other comments in the chat, like dot files. Very important. Vim. All right. Going to rate. It is less let. Yes, it's so good. I'm gonna set up my Vim to be like your Vim. Let's go. Do it. All right. See you everybody. Enjoy Jordan's stream.